If we educate a boy, we educate one person. If we educate a girl, we educate a family and a whole nation. This is a famous African proverb expressing the importance of investing in the education of girls. By doing so, not just the individual, but the entire community benefits. The novel A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini describes the long line of wars and conflicts in Afghanistan between the 1960s and the early 2000s. In this context, Hosseini reveals the struggles women face with limited to no education due to cultural expectations and later the oppressive command of the Taliban. Hosseini's book demonstrates the importance of educating everyone, girls and boys. Without educated women, the future of education fails, domestic and sexual violence increases, and abusive marriages develop. The education of women means the education of children, which allows us as a society to advance into a brighter future. When the war is over, Afghanistan is going to need you as much as its men, maybe even more, because a society has no chance of success if its women are uneducated, states Layla's father. Layla, one of the lead characters, is raised by her father to believe that education for women is just as important as it is for men. He said, "Marriage can wait, education could not." Unfortunately, Layla's father dies when she is still young, and she is forced to marry an older man, Rashid, who is already married to Mariam, the second central character of the book. Mariam's childhood is quite different from Layla's. She does not have that kind of supportive parenting and is undereducated. She is raised to believe that she is a weed that needs to be pulled out and thrown away. After her mother, who has protected her whole life, commits suicide, Mariam's father arranges for her to marry a stranger named Rashid. Because of her lack of education and understanding, she cannot support herself on her own, and therefore agrees to the marriage. As the years go by, Rashid becomes violent, and Mariam does not know how to overcome the abuse. She becomes trapped in her ignorance, an incapacity that no one helps her to surpass. Hosseini's novel is a study in the resilience of these two women as they face the isolating and disempowering rules of their society, exemplified by the inhumane treatment of their abusive and reactionary husband. As a child, Mariam is frequently called harami, or bastard, by her mother, and throughout her life, that is all she can comprehend about herself. Her mother tells her, "What is the sense of schooling a girl like you? It's like shining a spittoon, and you'll learn nothing of value at those schools. There is only one skill a woman like you and me needs in life, and they don't teach it in a school." Mariam, like her mother, never learns that she has the capacity to do better, so the people around her take advantage. Rashid tells her, where I come from, a woman's face is her husband's business only. I want you to remember that. Do you understand?" Unable to be independent, Mariam allows Rashid to control her, limiting her from going anywhere, doing anything, or meeting anyone that he himself does not command. Rashid wants to keep Mariam hidden, since he believes women have no voice in their society. All Mariam does in response is deal with the consequences and justify Rashid's actions and behavior. When Mariam finds a pornographic magazine in Rashid's room, she tells herself that Rashid has different needs than her, so she ignores the irony that he deliberately tells her not to show her face to another man while using images of women for his own gratification. Slowly, an explanation presents itself. He was a man after all, living alone for years before she had moved in. His needs differ from hers. Rashid looks at other women, which violates his own ideologies. The issue is that Maryam and Rashid were not taught to be better, to do more. The issue is so much more than Maryam's lack of knowledge. It falls on Rashid, who too is undereducated in his own way, and the society itself for not taking the responsibility to make it better. By contrast, Layla comes from an educated background, yet when she finds herself pregnant and unmarried, she feels she has no choice but to accept Rashid. Layla does not approve of his abusive behavior, and throughout their relationship, she uses her knowledge to fight back. She even attempts to run away with Maryam at one point. Rashid is displeased by her knowledge because he believes that education is wasted on women. But in reality, he feels threatened because he is undereducated, and he is deeply suspicious of his wives. He has reason to be, since Layla and Maryam form a strong friendship. Both have knowledge to contribute to their relationship, and both share their love and strength with Aziza and Zalmay, the children. Zalmay and Aziza are connected to Maryam through prayer and study of the Quran, and to Layla through language and the study of the world around them. The women are the first educators of the children, and Rashid resents the strong bond. In the character of Tariq, Hosseini lays out the potential results of a mature society, one that raises men and women to support each other. Tariq is stable and considerate because he has a fundamental understanding of the dignity of all people. He was raised by loving parents and given the opportunity to learn. Despite his handicap, he was never a victim, and therefore he never victimizes others. The relationship between Layla and Tariq demonstrates how a society can grow when both men and women are respected and educated. Research has been done around the world to demonstrate the literacy rates of men and women. Literacy is essential if individuals are to be educated. Results from 2013 show that in Afghanistan, an estimated 43% of men 15 years or older can read and write. In comparison, only about 13% of women can read and write. The limited access to education and the major gap between the two create serious conflict within the country. Though a larger population of men are able to read than women, the majority of boys still lack the basic yet fundamental basis of education because of the poor, harsh conditions they live in. Schools are not placed where children learn to respect others and investigate the truth. Instead, they are taught to fight. The advantages of educating women are remarkable. The Girls Global Education Fund has found that children born to uneducated mothers in Africa have a 1 to 5 chance of dying young. Infant mortality drops if a mother has a primary education. More education also protects the mother because it results in more female health care providers who assist with pre- and postnatal care. As well, educated girls usually marry and have children when they are older. This limits the number of children a woman can have. This helps to control the global population. A 2000 UNESCO study reported that literate women have 2.5 children, but illiterate women have 6 children on average. When educated, women become involved in the political process, where they are frequently very vocally opposed to violence, terrorism, and war. Finally, with education, women can support themselves economically, which reduces global poverty. In Afghanistan, and in most countries across the world, women are the first educators of children, for it is still expected that women have the responsibility to look after the children. The women stay at home and the men go to work. If the women are the first educators of their children, the mothers themselves have to be able to teach. Children learn from what they see in their surroundings and follow blindly if not guided in the right direction. Educating women guarantees that the next generation will create a brighter future all people want.